And our guest this week is Rich Felts, the president of the Kansas Farm Bureau. And Rich, as we look, what was going on the state side, but also nationally, the CARES Act, still trying to get that figured out. We understand a lot of folks have received a stimulus check, but agriculture, at least as we're talking right now, trying to get some things figured out, how to bring some relief and what exactly agriculture and farmers and ranchers can qualify to help get them some assistance.
Yes, Ken, and one that we're hearing the most conversation about is the Payroll Protection Program. And as much money as there is in that program, we're hearing that by the end of the week, the requests could already outreach the amount of funds that are available. So a great program for those that have employees. And we're also hearing that there are some opportunities for self-employed to participate, and they just need to talk to their lender to see how that might work out.
Rich, the other thing, on top of all this, what we've seen in the protein markets, especially in the cattle market, where we've seen almost the bottom drop out on cash cattle prices, but we continue to hear reports and see reports of near record numbers of the cutout, the box beef. USDA many ag groups have requested the secretary look into. It looks like they're now going to look into the situation. Rich, we've been trying to look at this for over a year with the fire down at Holcomb. You add this to it, and there's angst, anger, frustration in the countryside when it comes to, especially to the cattle trade.
Well, you're exactly right, Ken. And I think to start off with, it's a little frustrating to think that, it's been 6 months since we had that fire, and I was in a meeting and a USDA official spoke, and this was within a week after that, and he said we're going to aggressively look into that. 6 months later, we're still looking. Now we're going to take this circumstance and tie that to that. I think we can all agree, though, that there's been a tremendous market disruption here, though, and I'm not trying to defend the action of the packers and the pricing there by any means, but we look at the overall price perspective and how there's been such a disruption in the marketing, the pricing, the demand that we see when we've lost, for all practical purposes, a big market for our high-end cuts. When we talk about the hotel and restaurant trade, we've increased the demand at the local grocery store for our more staple hamburger type products. So a tremendous amount of disruption all the way around in that industry, but not only there, but in all the other commodities as well.
Rich, before we let you go, as we said, we're working through this. We're learning more, but agriculture still has to go on, and so you probably see somewhere light at the end of the tunnel, or still a sense of optimism to help feed a hungry world.
Well, you're exactly right, and I think one thing that I see is coming out of this is we've got people that have never experienced a disruption in their food supply. Granted, it's just been a distribution issue this time, but I think people in general, though, are more accustomed to, or becoming more accustomed to the fact that, hey, my food is pretty critical to my livelihood, and maybe we need to pay more attention to that food supply from the farmer to the fork.
All right, Rich, we sure appreciate the time to visit with us, and we'll talk with you down the road. And again, best of luck to our great farmers and ranchers. So thanks.
Well, thank you very much, and wish everyone well as we work through this situation.
Rich Felts, president of the Kansas Farm Bureau, has been our special guest. Stay with us. We'll have more coming up.